Witches, it's Luna, and I'm here to give you some suggestions, perhaps, for some spells that you might do at this Cancer new moon, which happens to be conjunct the natal sun in the US's natal chart. So, being July 5th, I didn't do the solar return chart, but we are having our birthday, obviously, on July 4th. And this Cancer new moon is going to sit right on top of our natal sun collectively. We also have Jupiter sitting conjunct natal Uranus, which expands our independent streak. So you have a couple things working for you. Now, in order to do effective spell work, you need several things. You need to have a very clear intention. You need to understand that when you do a spell, it goes through your system, so it's going to affect you as well and first. And if you're doing spell work on someone else, particularly without someone's permission, and I will pause for a second here to say that the witch has the power to bless and to curse, and it is up to a witch's discretion what she chooses to do with her magic, because she, of course, accepts full responsibility for everything that she does. So when you're working on someone else, you have to first have a claim. And an example could be if you have someone that is causing harm to your family. You have a claim, to protect your family. Well, we have a claim as the American family, as the people that live under its laws. We have a claim against certain people that are working to take down this democracy that we celebrate. And then you need to have a connection. So you can't just do spell work on somebody, pull a name out of a hat, I'm going to throw a curse on you. It doesn't work, because you need a claim and you need a connection. When you do spell work for yourself, you're always going to put something of your DNA on whatever you're working. For instance, a candle working, you can put some of your tears on it, you can put some of your saliva on it, or something that carries your DNA so that the magic knows your address, basically. So when you don't have personal access to someone, how do you get that connection? Signatures are a very effective way. A signature is basically someone's DNA in the air element. A signature is unique to each individual. It's kind of like fingerprints. So it's a really good thing to have. So if there might be, say, 6 people that have done some massive harm to us collectively as Americans, we might want to do something to make sure that the consequences are felt rapidly and profoundly. And we may want to do something to stop that harm, to really slow things down. The people that I am very cagily referring to here do not go back into session until October. So the shutting down part is handily done for us until we get to that place in October. But you can do work now that can stretch that far. So that will be our intention. So we have signatures. You can find them on Wikipedia. You can copy and paste them into a document. You can print that document out, and then you can cut them apart. I have 2 sets here. And if you are lucky enough to have such a grand item as this, a friend of mine gave me this a few weeks ago, and it is a tea warmer, very small, but it's very handy for perhaps putting a charcoal underneath. You see we've got a little thing of sand, and then we have a little pot, and perhaps we could have some full moon eclipse water. At the full moon eclipse, we are seeing the shadow of the earth on the moon, so this water could help them to confront the shadow that they have cast and their own personal shadow side. But we are working collectively and officially here, so we want them to confront the dark side of what they have done. And then perhaps we could have some total solar eclipse water that can help to balance and help them to confront the limits of what they see as their unlimited power. Think about the sun being this beautiful, bright thing, and then suddenly Mother Moon, women, comes across and says, no, we can eclipse that power. So these intense energies, perhaps we can put that water in here, and when it gets nice and steamy, perhaps those names could go in. And of course, you're going to call all of your helpers together for your own personal protection. And to make sure that things go where they need to go. You can call on whatever deities you work with. Hecate might be a very good choice if she's someone you already work with. If it's first time out, she's pretty intense, but she is one who stands at the crossroads and one who holds the keys, the opener of the way. She is also Hecate Brimo, is anger, righteous anger, and Hecate Borboro Forba is the eater of filth. And now that one's really going a far road. At any rate, perhaps those names could go into this hot water and maybe they could start feeling the heat of the consequences of their actions. They could be in hot water over bribes and gifts that they've taken that they've decided not to disclose, or to disclose very late. They could be in hot water over having close family members that are clearly working against the laws of our nation. And then when they've been in that hot water a while and that's been established, perhaps that water could go in the freezer and they could be put on ice. This is the thing that can stick until, after the next session starts, through the election, until such time as you feel that they can be unfrozen. And at that time, you can perhaps throw them in the river to release. But those are two things that you could possibly do. Another thing you could possibly do, what we're going to do, we have this bottle that my son and I did. It's been sitting on my altar for 2 years. This was created when the Dobbs decision came down, and he and I sat and funneled all of our anger and our rage into this and bottled it for future use. So perhaps another set of those signatures could go into this bottle to feel, and another thing with the hot water, they can feel the heat of our rage, the heat of outrage at long-standing cornerstones of democracy being torn away. So this signatures are going to go in here so that they can be submerged in the reaction to rights being stripped away. And then this is going to be poured into the river so that that message can spread into the water table. And another thing that's in this is just the energy to rectify, to bring things back to a place of justice. Know that we are working under universal law here. Magic works under universal law. And you can think in the context of constitutional law and how that's been trampled. So we are working to bring things back into alignment with the social contract, with the laws that have been agreed upon and wrought. So again, we're working to contain harmful power and harmful activity. And of course, as you work at the end, and I have a piece of Storalite here, and this is to elevate intention. The intention here is freedom. The intention is consequences for those who violate our social contract of democracy. It is consequences for those who would like to strip away protections on the environment and all of our laws and regulations that keep people safe and healthy. That is, a passive way to cause harm, is you remove protections from harm, and this is what's been happening. So we definitely want to put protections back in place. Of course, you're going to ask your guides, who have a much higher view of the big picture, to get in the way of any magic that you do that may cause unintentional harm for those that don't deserve it. So you tell your guides, if I am not to be doing this magic, if I am stepping outside of my boundaries, please interfere. Please interfere with my magic. I trust you to do this, right? And at the end, you will put the binder on it. By all the power of 3 times 3, this spell bound around shall be, to bring no harm nor return on me. As I do will, so mote it be. Yes? So you can put it out there too. I usually put things out in keeping, even when I do spell work on myself, because there's, inadvertent slosh over no matter what you do. You're not isolated. But I will put things out in keeping with each one's personal will and karma. In this case, I'm just going to say in keeping with each one's personal karma. We already have an excess of personal will in a public place. So, in keeping with each one's personal karma. All right? Okay, tonight, we are in dark moon as I record this. The new moon tonight is at 6:57 p.m. in the Eastern time zone. So the best thing would be to launch this before that. You want to launch this on the waning moon and in the dark moon. All right. If you happen to get on the waxing side, then you can just say this is to increase protection, to increase liberty, to increase the rights of the people affected. But we are working directly here. So try to do it on the waning side. And this is to diminish harm, and to put guardrails around and to bring consequences where they need to be most felt, bring them rapidly, and bring them hot. All right. Let me know if you have any questions down below. I will see you next time. Until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.